Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. We hit on both of our bets last time out. We are now 12-0 in March Madness. Only have a couple games left here, looking to make it 15-0. Hopefully we can keep it going. Love to keep it going for you guys. And as always, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate all the views, the more likes, and just all the interaction going on in the comments. It's made it a lot more fun along the way. Please keep it up. But with that, we'll jump right into our first game that I have for you guys. And personally, my favorite play of the two, we have Duke versus North Carolina. And Duke is a 4-point favorite here. Duke covered easily against Arkansas in their last game for us, while North Carolina absolutely blew out St. Peter's. And this is the game we were all expecting. A lot of people really saw this one coming, especially going into this last round. Seems like they really wanted to give Duke and Coach K, especially his rematch after getting just trounced by North Carolina in his final matchup. Both these teams are split their season series against each other at 1-1. And North Carolina is playing better basketball as of late, though, with Duke having 4 more wins on the year, the better seeding. Seems like a little bit more even than you would expect going into it. My problem here with North Carolina, and it's their X Factor player we have listed here with Caleb Love, had 27 points in the second half against UCLA, came back and really won them the game. But there's been too many times this year where he's shot them out of the games. Seen him shoot under 20% quite often, and he shoots at 37% on the season. It's not a good mark. I mentioned that earlier with Kyler Edwards in Houston going against Nova, that pretty good defense they got. Kyler Edwards shot 1 for 12. He hits a couple more, they win the game or at least go to overtime. I see a similar situation here with Caleb Love. Played a really good game last game, and that's kind of how this tournament's been going for him, on and off, on and off. I think Duke plays better defense than UCLA does. I think between their guards with Roach, Trevor Keels, Wendell Moore, they have the athleticism and the size on the perimeter to guard it pretty well. I don't think he's going to have that great of a game. Also, you have North Carolina with a rebounding advantage here. I think Duke has the size to at least withhold their own in that regard. And for their team strength, they want to take it inside. We saw it last game. They only attempted 10 threes. They're taking it into the paint. I think both these teams play pretty similarly, but Duke just has too many advantages all around for me. My player is Duke -4. Additionally, both teams are going to be well rested, so it won't matter a ton. But I think the Blue Devils at least have an advantage when it comes to their bench. We saw them dominate in the paint after getting Arkansas in foul trouble, specifically Jalen Williams. It's another one of my predictions. Hit that game right on the head. But as I mentioned, Duke only shot 10 threes in that game. They kept getting in the paint. The refs are rewarding them for that. They're giving them their fouls. They've outshot the last, I want to say, maybe 8 or 9 teams now in free throws. I've been riding them for a while now, and the refs are making it pretty easy for us here. And on the other hand, with North Carolina, we saw in that Baylor game, they had a 25-point lead with 10 minutes left. Brady Manick gets ejected, and Baylor goes on a 25-point run. North Carolina just doesn't have the bodies to stay in this game, especially if Duke's hitting the paint, drawing those fouls. You get Manick or Bacot in foul trouble, and they're just not going to be able to play with them as much, honestly. Like, you're going to bring in Dontrez Styles, or I don't even know who the other guys they have on their bench. I'm going to say like Puff Johnson, but North Carolina's bench guys got exposed against Baylor. Duke has a couple guys they could go to with Theo John, and now bringing Keels off the bench. I think they just have a big advantage here, especially if they're playing this game down low, which that's what it seems like. I'm taking Duke -4. I think they're going to have those extra opportunities in the paint at the foul line. And then additionally, with the potential of Caleb Love having a very off game with the volume that he shoots at, I really like Duke -4 here. Already took it myself, but that's our first 1-unit play. The other game, we got Villanova versus Kansas, and both these teams pretty good on this season, but neither of them is, or especially Kansas, they have had a very easy path to the Final Four, I would say, in my opinion. Villanova's beat some lower seeded teams, but I would say Michigan as an 11 seed was a pretty good win. They also had to beat Ohio State, who maybe I'm biased because I'm an Illinois fan, but those Big Ten teams were very good this year. And then going into this last game, everybody was starting to say Houston was the team to beat in the tournament after they beat Arizona. Called that game right too. But I just think Villanova is a very underrated team. And just looking at who Kansas had to beat to get here is Texas Southern, Creighton, Providence, and Miami. Nobody really jumps off the board. That has to be one of the easiest paths I've seen to the Final Four in a while. But the spread is still -4.5. And it's because Justin Moore just tore his Achilles in the last game, which is definitely a bad break for a starter and one of your main go-to guys. But I just think Villanova's not getting enough respect here. Kansas has a depth advantage, as I mentioned here, which also with the last game, a lot of rest, not going to matter as much. But Villanova plays smart basketball. They don't foul particularly a lot. Didn't really notice a lot in the last game. Caleb Daniels is going to step right into the starting lineup. He started before at Tulane, and he really provided a spark while not shooting too well. But nobody shot well in that last game. Houston versus Nova was the most grinded out defensive matchup I've seen in a while. Caleb Daniels is going to come in and do just fine for them in that shooting guard spot. I obviously think these are two very good teams, but it's just hard for me to bet against Nova right now with the way they dominated Houston from start to finish. Houston was looking unstoppable. I knew they didn't have a lot of perimeter skill. That just makes me want to buy into this Nova pick even more. They guard the perimeter extremely well with Ochai Agbaji, Christian Braun. Kansas has the size advantage, but Nova's been used to that all season. You get them here at +4.5. They didn't miss a free throw last game unless they missed one at the very end. They didn't the whole rest of it. They don't turn the ball over. Nova is the perfect March Madness team. Ton of seniors, ton of older guys. We're going with Nova +4.5 here for another unit. And then didn't really talk too much about the X Factor guys here, but Remy Martin been coming off the bench lately. He's similar to a Caleb Love guy. He was preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, but obviously that role changed. But he could go off at any moment. He kept him in it a few games back. He had, I can't even remember the matchup, but I know he had over 20 and basically saved him. I think it was maybe against Providence, but Nova on the other hand, Jermaine Samuel's has been playing a lot better. He needs to be more assertive. I think he's going to start doing that now with Justin Moore out of the game. Gillespie needs to take more shots. You didn't really see that against Houston. I just was very impressed with everything besides the shot making from Nova, from defense, ball control, and free throws. I think Nova covers a +4.5 spread here. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I like Nova a lot at +4.5. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you're taking in the comments. If you're tailing, fading me, whatever you're taking. Love to talk about it. But as always, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, we'll jump into our promo. We'll match your first deposit up to $100 using our promo code there on the left called Pro Picks. This is for that Prize Picks. It's a daily fantasy app. You can use it in Texas, California, Florida. You make entries on player props. They have a lot of promos mentioned in all the other videos, so give it a look if you haven't already. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned and hope we keep it rolling to 14-0.